What's going on, y'all? Another week, another geek. We're back at it again with another episode of the Why I'm Geek show, episode 103 to be exact. And today, we're going to be talking about none other than Blue Beetle. Dang, Chris already shaking his head. Oh my gosh, let's get it though. Look, y'all. I was excited to see this movie. Not because of the movie itself, but because of the spectacle that is DC. You know? So, like, going into it, that was kind of how I was feeling. But before we dive deep into all of the shenanigans, Chris, the stamp or null this week, bro, is there hope for DC? Like, really, like, is there hope, bro? Because we gotta.
I'm a stamp.
Okay. Any reason why?
The Blue Beetle movie.
Okay.
I think it has a little bit of hope. I know James Gunn probably didn't really help or do anything with this movie, but for some reason, I kind of feel like this one is a little bit more refreshing and cleaner than a lot of DC stuff they've done in the past. So I'm gonna go with a stamp after this movie. If you would ask me last week, I'd have been like, no, it's doomed. It's the same level as Marvel.
Okay. I can respect that.
How about you? Are you gonna stamp this one or no? For is DC doomed?
Y'all heard that?
Oh,
That's crazy.
He's nervous.
No, it's not that, bro. It's not that. I'm torn. Because I did enjoy the Blue Beetle movie. But I enjoy a lot of things. That don't always make it good. You know? So what I'm gonna say is DC doomed. No, it's not. It's not. I'm sorry. I don't know why I drew it out that long, but it's to the point where we get movies like this that should have not necessarily a bigger showing, but movies that, you know, maybe not necessarily matinee, or same day release, but definitely like a matinee movie. It's not getting the same type of love that it really should, you know. And no matter what they do right now, it just seems like they're climbing up an impossible like cliff or wall or something like that, like as far as like it getting out there. And then and the discourse around it, it's just like, why do we care, bro? Why do we care about what they're doing if, for one, the rollout is James Gunn is coming through and it's like he's finna shake things up, so there's excitement there. But everything prior to that, like you just said, we don't really know what he had a hand in. We don't know what's really going on. The writer strike is going on, so that's really been bumming me out too, just because it's like, dang, like I don't know what to do, you know, just because like this is what we do, but at the same time, like the writers are who makes these things, you know? So it's just like a whole weird energy right now around movies and even not so much TV all the time, but definitely movies, you know, as far as like people actually going out to see it.
People ain't going out to see this. They're not gonna go see Blue Beetle.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like I literally went and people didn't start showing up till like the movie was about to start, bro.
Yeah,
like,
you texted me that ain't nobody in this.
Like nobody was in there, bro. And it's like, I get it. It's Blue Beetle, right? It's more of a niche character as far as like the DC heroes go.
Blue Beetle.
But for me, like watching Young Justice, like I know a little bit more about Blue Beetle's story, more so about like just the Scarab in general, that would have me at least interested in the movie, you know? And I feel like the trailer itself did a good enough job to where it's like, yo, like at least give this joint a chance. you know, and it just
Nah,
didn't work. It didn't work.
nah.
It didn't work.
I told you when I saw the trailer, I was like, bro, I do not want to see this. I do
Yeah.
not want to see this.
Excalibur didn't get you excited, bro?
Nothing got me excited for Blue Beetle. I was I don't know what's the opposite word of hyped. I was like,
Yeah.
bro, let me wait for this to come on like Netflix.
Not even
Not even like
HBO.
HBO. Nope.
Netflix, bro. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like this, it's the whole energy around the joint, and it's like I don't even blame you, bro. I don't even blame you for feeling like that because it's like, what have they given us really, like as far as like this universe is concerned, to warrant us to really want to go out to theaters and go see these things? You know, like Flash is like probably the last, maybe Aquaman, just because of the scandal and controversy
But
of,
we've like seen Aquaman movies, you know?
yeah. But this is an origin story, so it should have like a little bit more buzz around it. But it's just not. It just didn't. It didn't. And the movie's not even that bad, bro. Like I liked the movie, you know. And I think it's like if you've seen it, I really feel like you will understand like where they were really trying to go with it. You know, like there's a lot of like family and just like culture that's infused in this, along with just, you know, different kind of talk that's happening. That's just like, okay, this doesn't really get me excited for everything else DC has going on, but at least for this story right here, there's something. You know, so like, what were your first initial takes on like just the movie itself? You know, like was it a
First
snooze
initial
fest?
takes, bro. I was bored. It was
Dang.
boring. I did not care. It was childish, kiddie, and I felt like I seen the movie like immediately.
Mm,
I
yeah.
when they showed that not antagonist, the
Big
Blue
bad.
Beetle's uh significant other,
Oh yeah.
given how that whole fiasco on how he gets the scarab in the first
Yeah.
place, I was like, yep,
Yeah.
I've seen this. I've seen this superhero movie 1,000 times. The big
Yeah.
bad in the very first scene, yep, it's just a generic big bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why I was just not entertained at all.
Mm-hmm.
But it does have a feeling of like an older superhero movie.
Yeah.
So it's kind of tough for me because I don't want to knock it too much
Mm-hmm.
because it feels that way. Like if I was a kid for sure, I think this movie's pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's just the fact that Blue Beetle is just not that cool to me. It's not like it's Iron Man, and
Yeah.
it
It's a
just
poor man's
it
Iron Man.
yeah, and it just makes me feel like if I was 10 and into action figures, like it'd be just so cool. Like, oh, look at
Yeah.
the blasters, look at the stings on his back, look at the huge sword. But I'm an adult now, and I just can't
Mm-hmm.
help but like realize it as I'm watching. Like this movie would have been way better in a different era, different time, when superhero movies
Yeah.
weren't as prevalent. And to be honest, if I was younger, I'd probably like it more. So I don't want to get too hard on it, but I was pretty bored in the beginning, and it just felt too familiar.
Yeah. It felt more like a video game than like a movie, just because of the nature of like the like first like 30 minutes of it. You know, like
Yeah,
you're the kid that went away to school to, you know,
it
pursue
had
your
all of
dreams.
that.
It just had
It had
it had everything like you're looking for, like as far as like your typical origin story.
like
But
typical.
at the same time, like I don't know, I felt like uh as far as like the family itself, it felt like authentic as far as like this is what a family really would be like. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as like when you're really close, like it really gave me like pre 2020 vibes. You know, like where like we didn't know this world of
Pre
like,
2015 ish. Like
that's what I'm
it can go
saying.
back farther. Like it there's something about it.
Yeah, like that. It just felt like it had this essence of like freedom that, you know, it wasn't real deep. You know, like everything was real, like right there, like, and they hit every note that they needed to hit as far as like the checklist of how to make a superhero movie.
Yeah.
Um, but you know, as far as like the plot itself, that's where it starts to get tricky, bro. It starts to get tricky, and I found myself like noticing the same things that you did, but I had a different reaction. You know, like uh when Jenny, that's her name, Jenny, uh stole the scarab, right? That whole fiasco. There's cameras everywhere. The most high tech building in the city, right? And she just, you know, go in, get out, get the big belly burger type beat, and then it's just sitting out there. Like it's to me, I was like, bro, let's just get like let's just get to what I want to see,
Yeah.
you know? Like
Yeah, for
it
sure.
got to that point with it. Um, but outside of those moments, I did like this. I liked the fact that we spent most of the movie watching Jaime not know what the heck is going on, right?
Okay.
Like not know anything, you know, and just experiencing the scarab, and the scarab basically is on autopilot and like just doing everything that it needs to do, right? But by the end, when they finally sync, that moment for me was way more enjoyable, just because it felt like those screens of like, because a lot of the movie he was just like, what are you doing, stop, what, no killing, we're not killers, like stuff like that, like. But after you get through all that and you have that moment of just like, oh, this is not what we do, I was like, oh, okay. I was like, all right, you know, that's cheesy, but I like it though. I like it, and that's why, like, those are some of the things I like about those type of movies, because it's always like, you know, an end goal that's not necessarily like you're going to come out with a message, but it's not like super deep where it's like, dang, you feeling the weight of what you just saw, you know? Um, but how did you feel about like just Jaime in general, like as an MC?
I thought it was really good. I thought it was really good. It's kind of
Yeah.
the reason why I kind of feel like there is some hope,
Mm-hmm.
because it just a lot of the characters didn't feel as generic as like the villain.
Mm-hmm.
Like they
Yeah.
felt like a living, breathing family, and that was really refreshing because stories like this, these can get really, really bad, where it's just like, all right, there's a bunch of actors on screen,
Mm-hmm.
but even George Lopez, he did really good in this,
Man,
but
favorite character.
yeah, but definitely, Jaime did awesome.
Yeah.
Uh, really hope there's more.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, I don't know if there will be more after whatever numbers this thing does.
Dang.
Uh, but yeah, I really like him, and it's just so crazy because we just saw the Flash,
Yeah.
and for some reason there's just so much more personality in this one than I can
Mm.
remember from the Flash, and I feel like the Flash should have had more personality now.
Yeah. And it's like we can't help but compare it to the Flash just because that's the most recent thing
Yeah, it's
that we've
DC, like
seen, you know?
DC, and you would expect Flash to be like DC's heavy hitter.
Mm-hmm. Right. And it's like, even though he's not like necessarily top three, like when you're looking at Blue Beetle, he might not even be top 10,
I
you
don't even
know?
know him.
Like, I just,
I don't think half the world is gonna know him either after this week too. Like they skipped it or snoozed.
this is why you gotta watch Young Justice, y'all. Like, Young Justice is like one of those shows that throws characters at you that you're just like, who the heck is that? You know? And then you find out a little bit more about him, and it's like, oh, okay, like, yeah, I get this now. Now, as far as like authenticity to who Blue Beetle is as a character in the comics and stuff like that, I can't really speak too much about that because I don't really know that much about Blue Beetle at all. You know, like
I still don't.
he's like a C-list character in DC. You know, and like he's real cheesy in Injustice. That's one thing I do know about him. He's real cheesy in that game. Um, but you know, as far as like the main character being Jaime, and just being able to see him as a character really shine as far as like his personalities through and through, and like that giving life to everybody kind of around him. And then we get the actual like antagonist in this movie. I feel like even though like the quote unquote big bad or the main antagonist as far as like fighting like Jaime or Blue Beetle wasn't good at all, but he wasn't really supposed to be good. Like he didn't really speak, so you know, like we only get that little flashback moment at the end. I was just like, I don't really care at this point. But okay, like as long as you get back, like that's cool with me. Type beat, you know. But for me, it was what's her name? Aunt Victoria. Aunt Victoria Cord. That I don't know what it was about like her performance, bruh, but it just really like made me hate her. And I like that. Like if she was like bad through and through, and when she finally got like her comeuppance, you know, it just you like that, huh? You like that word? You see?
I guess you could use that.
I don't know, but look, when she finally, you know, caught the karma of all her action, you get to finally see like what she's been doing and in this legacy she's always, you know, talking about. I was like, bro, she's really evil, bro. And like, even though she doesn't really do anything except order people around, I don't know what it was. Like, she just did a good job at being bad, bro. And I think it was the voice too. The voice had something to do with it too. But what did you think about her, bro?
I thought she was horrible. I didn't like her acting at all.
Okay.
I don't know why it felt so dry. I was just like, bro, what is this? Like,
is it because Cord like is something we don't know anything about, or is it just her?
I just think it was just the delivery of a lot of her stuff. And
okay.
I don't know. I just kind of felt. I guess I got rubbed off after the first beginning, and then I'm just like, okay, they're just gonna be generic, and she kept doing the generic stuff. That I'm like, this is a bland character, and she's delivering it blandly, and I do not care at all. And even towards the very end, like I was like, well, I'm gonna ask you,
Yeah.
is she alive?
No way. No way.
Like there was a whole explosion.
She got brought into the fire, and then dude exploded with her in her hand. Like,
yeah,
there's no way she's alive, bro.
I hope she's not.
James was getting murked in this joint though, which I wasn't expecting. Yeah. You know, even though it's DC, but like
from the family members, not from Blue Beetle though.
Not from Blue Beetle itself, but the family members, and
the family members for sure.
Everybody else pretty much like was doing all the killing basically.
Blue Beetle did it.
Well, Blue Beetle didn't do that, which is funny, but like, which is like something that you wouldn't really expect, or it's just something that unless it's really built into their character, like something you don't necessarily always see. You just assume like they're down, like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's plenty of people that got thrown off roofs and stuff like that where it's like, yeah, they ain't gonna make it, but you know, we're not really focused on them. But as far as like the lore that, you know, they talk about in this one about, you know, young Ted.
Yeah.
You know, like I really enjoyed that because I have like I'm not gonna say a deeper knowledge of DC, but just like I know about Blue Beetle, I know about these characters, but to see the lab and to see like, you know, everything that he was trying to accomplish, and you know, even George Lopez's character, Rudy, I think it's Rudy, him being so hyped when, you know, they actually went into the Beetle cave, because that's basically what it was, the Beetle basement, whatever you want to call it. And he's like, we got to see all the different gadgets and stuff like that, because I didn't remember that, you know, the Scarab never bonded with him, you know, and he was just obsessed with the technology and things like that. So there's a lot of things that they were able to put into this movie that I don't know if they're gonna ever be able to do anything with, unless Blue Beetle is like an integral part in
Cult
something in the
classic.
future. Not even not even that. It's more so the fact that like Blue Beetle, like how like similar to how they use Cyborg, right?
Okay.
Um, is like basically like a key to something, you know.
Yeah, that'd be
Just
cool.
because like the scarabs, like there's so many different scarabs out there, right? That do just don't have access to, and just introducing the idea of not introducing the idea of aliens, because aliens have always existed, but like a different type of alien in the future would be cool from a lore standpoint. But as far as like where that guy is at and what's actually going on with that, I just we have to wait and see if we actually get it, you know. But how did you think about the lore? Did it like just go right past you, or did it sink in a little bit? As far as like, did you make you want to learn anything more?
It made me just like kind of realize like, dang, they're not really explaining a lot in this movie. Like I didn't realize it until that portion popped up. But it,
Hmm.
it, it just reminded me of like certain old style comic book movies where they
Yeah.
like drop this small little hint that's really gonna like come out in the second movie, you know? And they used to
Hmm.
do that often where, this detail is like the main storyline of the next movie.
Yeah.
And that's just what it reminded me of. It was fine and I liked it.
Hmm. How did you feel about like the whole alien part of it though? Like, did you feel like the alien, like as far as like the tech itself and like what we actually got to see, like when we were looking through the suit, I guess? Like, did you get real alien vibes, or was it more so just like this is just technology?
I didn't really analyze it that hard. I was just kind
Hmm.
of like, this just reminds me of like some Iron Man stuff. I was like, all right, cool. Uh,
Yeah.
the voice. Uh,
Hmm.
it,
He's
it,
like,
it,
this is
it
just Jarvis.
yeah, it's just a lot of the stuff in the movie made me be like, Jarvis, Iron
Yeah.
Man, inside the suit. Oh, it grows onto him. Oh,
Hmm.
Spider Man. What? There's another hero that it reminded me of. Maybe it's just Iron
Ant
Man.
Man?
I don't know.
Nah.
Like I said, it was just as I'm watching the movie, like a lot of older superhero first time movies. It just hit a
Yeah.
lot of those hammer like beats, and like you said, like did it look like more Alien? Yeah, it does.
Mm.
But it's just kind of like I feel like I've seen exactly this.
Yeah.
Like this isn't my first time seeing this view or this ability or this comic sketch or talking back or
Hmm.
like really anything. And I
Yeah.
I guess I didn't. I should have took a better look at it.
Hmm.
Um, but it was solid. I don't think it looked bad.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Well,
how did you feel overall about the suit and how it looked and even his weapons?
I mean, I think they look cool. Uh, as far as like just how seamless everything was, like it was similar to just how I saw it in the animated show. So it was really cool
Mm,
to see that. I think when it came down to the suit, um, inside and outside of battle, it was a little different. I feel like it moved well, like as far as like when he was running. Like I don't know what it is now about about people running, but now ever since I heard like the little Tom, like I saw like a Tom Cruise montage because he's like just the runner, right? I always just noticed that, and Jaime got a good run. Like he has a good stride, bruh. And it's just funny to see because he was like, um, there was a portion of the movie where he really couldn't use a suit, so it was just like it was just
yeah.
on him, you know. But when it came down to it, really it was about the fights, you know, and I really feel like the fights itself were very short, which I think is a good thing because how many ways can you? Ever since you told me, like, was like about why we never got another Hulk movie or like just a solo Hulk movie, like as far as like just getting to see like Warbreaker Hulk go crazy, right? Is
Yeah.
because how many ways can we show this character doing the same thing,
Yeah.
right? And with Blue Beetle, because of like, the scarab itself, it can go as far as your imagination can. There was a lot of creative ways that they could dispose of enemies and things like that. Because for me, I enjoyed him fighting against all the different rogues and just henchmen in general, because we got to see him do more so than the boss battles, right?
Yeah.
Because for one, most of the movie he doesn't know what he's doing, so it's pretty much
Yeah.
standard stuff. But once he actually gets into it and they're finally synced, we get to see more of like what I'm used to seeing, as far as like Jaime going crazy and just the only thing that's limiting him is his imagination, essentially. So I enjoy that, but like I feel like the suit itself is like that's as good as you really gonna get.
Yeah.
Like I don't see how they could have made it even cooler. I think it was weird as far as like how every time he used a suit it burned all his clothes. I don't remember
Mhm.
that being a thing,
It
you
felt
know?
it did feel disconnected for me. Like,
Yeah.
it looked much darker, and then I was like, "Whoa, like, what are
Right.
we getting into?" And then it's like, "Nope, just kidding."
Right. And then they had like the little venom mouth part
Mhm.
too that was just like we don't need this.
Yeah.
like this is shocking enough
Yeah, the
already.
direction for that wasn't needed, but I guess they wanted to go
Yeah.
for, like a transformation feel, like, this is very alien-like, and
Mm-hmm.
because the scarab is, like, in him,
Yeah.
So,
It
I
went
like,
up
I
his
get it.
butt.
Yeah.
Like, see, so like for me, this movie was funny just because I have that kind of sense of humor. But I knew like leaving the theater, bro. Even though you wasn't with me, I'm like, yo, Chris is not gonna like this but at all, bro. Because it's like you said, like the humor is very juvenile in nature.
Yeah, definitely.
But it was just funny. Like it didn't need to be that serious all the time. But I wanted to ask you, because like this is still like at the end of the day like a DCEU type of movie, you
Yep.
know. When are we going to start like I know it's not even a we thing, but like what can they do to really make these movies better outside of like just the reset, because like you were saying earlier, bro, like every time you saw something in this movie it just reminds you another thing that happened in Marvel or a different uh movie, right? But like how are they going to even do some of these things when like a lot of these characters, especially like DC and Marvel specifically, are based off of one another, they just call them a different thing, like Blue Beetles really is just the Iron Spider. If like we're being completely honest, except that, like what makes it different is the backstory and all the lore that goes into it. But like from just an entertainment standpoint, is like as far as like just like a movie, like what can they do to make you like really want to come out the theater?
I think that's, like, the only thing, like, I really like about Blue Beetle is the character. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they got it right with the character. They got it right with the idea of the first movie, really just being about the character figuring out the powers, getting the powers.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like we're too caught up, or DC got too caught up in playing catch up with Marvel.
Yeah.
And with a movie like Blue Beetle, this was refreshing to see them try to do the, hey, this is a character y'all never heard about. Uh, Watch him figure
Mm-hmm.
out these powers. Like, we didn't even get enough of like the Scarab and
Mm-hmm.
uh what's his name? Blanking. The guy's storyline yet.
Jaime?
Um, no, no,
Oh,
the guy
the
in
bad
the
guy?
end credit scenes.
Oh, Ted.
Ted. We didn't
Ted
get
Cord.
him yet. But
Yeah.
I feel like DC's been trying to play catch up for so long, and it's been leading to bad movies or rushed
Mm-hmm.
movies or movies where we don't even care about Batman or Superman because we know they're about to be replaced.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like for something like this, it's really good, solid, basic movie that we can start going forward. Where, oh, did you see one? Did you see
Yeah.
Shazam? Oh, then the second one came out. Oh man, I may have to watch both back to back. Something like that, and then
Mhm.
we'll get to a point where they can come out with like a slam dunk amazing movie. Because I
Yeah.
feel like DC is just scattered with like the Batman.
Yeah.
Like how are we linking that? The Joker movie. There's gonna
Mhm.
be another Joker, and it just feels like maybe they don't want to do a universe, but if you're gonna
Mhm.
try it, maybe you start out with movies like this where we got the character. It's a little goofy, but we're trying to introduce a character.
Yeah.
We'll keep all the really really good deep comic book stuff later. Like
Mhm.
we don't want to hint at something mega so early because they try to hint at Dark Side quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just kind of like don't play catch up, like do your own thing. And I think that's why I like Blue Beetle a lot. It
Mhm.
it feels like its own thing. It feels like they wanted to make a fun movie. I may be too old for it.
Yeah.
It may be a little too 2009-ish,
Yeah.
2008-ish, but um it's definitely its own thing. It's not trying to be Shazam 2.0, it's fresh.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, because for me, I feel like it's like a straight shooter type of movie.
Yeah.
Like, and
It's not gonna juke you.
right, and there's like no real twist, even though like there's
Yeah.
definitely some like cornball moments. I want to get into like your favorite and your least favorite thing about the movie um after this. But it's like it's just is what it is, and that's an origin story, you
Yeah.
know? And they focused on the things that mattered, which was family and his relationship with the scarab, right? The platonic relationship or like the love interest relationship, nobody really cares about that at all. Like it was
But that's a
funny.
generic one that's
Yeah,
in those movies.
yeah, they had one funny moment, and after that, it was just like I did like how they kept her involved though throughout the movie. Like she did still get to you know not just be the girl that needs help and was actually out there trying to do work and stuff like that. So like that was cool, but like as far as like relationship stuff goes, like it was just there, like that's just something that they have to put in there, right? But like these types of movies are necessary if you're even going to attempt what they started with, which is the Justice League, right? If they don't have a foundation for these characters and it being like them themselves, not just them adding Batman or adding Wonder
Being
Woman in
likable.
there, yeah, like let them stand on their own, and the audience will tell you what characters they care about and what characters they don't, Now, maybe that's not a bet you want. Maybe that's not a bet you want to hedge on Blue Beetle to start,
For sure.
but at this point, I'm assuming they're just throwing things at the wall. Like um, I'm sure like there's probably like some element of just like the cultural aspect of like the main of the lead of this movie, having their community like drove into the theaters and stuff like that, seeing George Lopez added into the DC universe. Like there's things in this movie that's like, okay, that's definitely Hollywood adding its sauce in there. But when you take it down to the bare bones of this movie, like it is a superhero movie, and that's all it's trying to be, and that's why I enjoyed it. Is it the best thing I ever seen? No, not by a long shot. But did I enjoy the movie? Yes. You need to go see it in theaters? Probably not. But Chris, I want to ask you, bro, what is your favorite thing in this movie that you saw? And what is your least favorite thing? Before we get into these scores, bro, because this is
Um,
something that like I wanna talk about just before that, so like we can see what on the spectrum we both at as far as what we was paying attention to.
mm, Least favorite's kind of hard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's hard for me because I'm gonna pick something so stupid. Like the bad guy,
Mm-hmm.
when the bad guy finally leveled up and the woman bad guy came up behind him and was like, "Oh yes, yes,
Manipulator.
this is." Yeah, I was just like, bro, this is just it's just very kid like. How
Yeah. Yeah.
but I guess that's gonna be my worst for me. I just remember watching that part like, bro, all
Yeah.
right. Favorite part. I don't know why. That the original sword unveiling, I thought it was even cooler when I watched it.
Really?
I was
Okay.
like,
Okay.
"Oh, like I've seen this," but I was
Was it
just
the
like,
kick? Was it the kick?
I don't know. It just finally felt because after watching the movie, it just finally felt like, "Oh, we in there."
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I don't know.
I respect that.
I'm gonna stick with it.
Okay. Okay. So for me, my least favorite thing, and this is like easy, but y'all might be mad at me for this, but it was when they brought the dad back, bro, in the dream. I
Yeah,
hated that part, bro, because it's
it's
just
cliche.
like it was so bad, and they wanted it to be good. Like they wanted it to be
Yeah.
good. Like they added it. Oh, I love you, dad. I love you, dad. Like I didn't need that.
Wait, what do you say? Something like, "I was meant to be here," or
This is your
something.
purpose. Like this was my purpose. Like,
Yeah.
and for me, like the moment where he first passed, that was the moment. Like where no more. I didn't need nothing else from them. And it was just like the whole sit down in the house, millions of candles thing. I was just like, bro, y'all trying too hard now. Y'all trying too hard. And then with the
Yeah.
big giant Blue Beetle jump send off, bro, I was like, yo, this is bad. Like, I don't like this part at all. But it's like after that, I'm like, okay, now we back in the physical world. Like maybe if they added something earlier where like he goes deep into his mind like that, or wherever place he went, it might have made more sense. But just to throw that in there, like that's not gonna get you no Grammy, bro. Like let's be real. Like come on. Like what we really talking
Yeah.
about? But everything before that, like the initial one, I was like, oh, I'm about to cry. Because I felt so bad. I was like, I knew it was gonna happen, but I was
Yeah.
just like, dang it, they actually did it. Um, but my favorite part, bro, my favorite part, or should I say person, outside of George Lopez, because George Lopez was funny, was the grandma.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
grandma when she had that what you call gun,
The gun.
girl, whatever gun that was, the disco gun. I don't know.
Mm.
And she was going crazy. She did that joint twice, bruh. And she was like, I don't forgot what she said, but she's just about that action. And it was like they didn't know that she had that in there. But like throughout the whole movie, she was just doing stuff where it was just like, yo, I love her. Like
Yeah, it
everybody
was
loves
like
grandma.
automatic win. It was just like
Yeah.
automatic win for some reason. Any scene.
Mm-hmm. It was good, bro. It was good. All right, so let's get into scores, man. Good. Do
Let,
you
let,
want?
let me hear what you're gonna give it. Let me hear what you're gonna give it.
All right, all right. So this score came to me immediately, like even while I was watching the movie. But now that like I kind of look back and seeing some of my other scores for other things, I feel like this is like the right spot for me. You know, and that is a 7.5 out of 10 because the movie is not mid. It's not mid. I enjoyed watching it in theaters, but it's not a movie that I would necessarily like, oh, yo, like, y'all gotta go see Blue Beetle this weekend. Like, it didn't hit me in that way, like, but the movie is not bad by any means. It's just not really like groundbreaking, like you said, like, I didn't really see nothing new that I wasn't expecting. Like, I'm not gonna say the trailer ratio was bad because, like you said, like the moments that they showed in the trailer still did hit, and there was still plenty that we didn't get to see. But yeah, I would say a 7.5. That's what I would give it. What about you?
Yeah, I give it a 6.
Okay,
It's
that's solid. That's solid for you.
it's I've seen it. I've seen the movie too much,
Hmm.
and would I go see it in theater? No, I would not. Would I
Hmm.
wait for it to stream? For sure, but I really wouldn't rush to go see it. This is
Hmm.
like one of those movies that I don't know if it just happens to come up, maybe you give it a watch. You don't even gotta pay attention to catch most of the beats.
Hmm.
The family parts are really good. The
Yeah.
main character I think is really good. Has a lot of potential for more. Action's good. Not like you said, the fight scenes aren't like long.
Hmm.
Um, I'm not a big fan of the end fight scene either.
Yeah.
It's just a normal, solid superhero movie, and I just feel like anyone who's seen a lot of the superhero movies, this one doesn't really compare to them. It's already past its time,
Hmm.
and this is just another drop in the bucket. If you really like superhero movies, you're gonna like this, but it's not gonna change your mind or make you feel amazing about Blue Beetle or the future of DC. It's just a solid movie. And I kind of understand if people don't want to go see it or don't go support it. Not a horrible
Hmm.
movie, but I think a lot of people are gauging it the same way. It's a
Yeah.
superhero movie. One day I'll see it. There's no rush to go see this one. Like there's nothing that screams Blue Beetle is a must see blockbuster. Oh my god, everyone's gonna talk about this on Monday. So
Mm.
solid six.
Yeah. Okay. I respect that, bro. I respect that. Yeah, I don't know. I knew it wasn't like I knew you weren't gonna give it like a 3,
It's
but I
close to a
knew.
five, but I think it's more
Yeah.
enjoyable. So
Hmm.
like like I said, it definitely has funny parts, and
Yeah.
it's just so cliche. But
Yeah.
it's not a bad thing. It's just literally
Right.
like we've seen it, we know it. Like you said, the whole romance part, it's
Hmm.
not bad, but it's just like it's in there just to be in there, and it
Hmm.
reminds me of like back in the day movies where it's like this
Yeah.
is just a love interest to have a love interest, and it's like
Yeah. And that's not an indictment on like her character as a whole. It's just
yeah,
more so like that's just this is what happens in the movies, you know? Because I feel like I don't feel like she did a bad job. Um, the accent got tricky sometimes, but I liked it. I liked it. I liked it though.
even
Um,
the end kiss, I was just like,
yeah, I was like, Ray, I ain't need to do that.
bro. Yeah, and like I said, it's not bad, but it's just like
Yeah,
from the get go, you
right.
see it,
Yeah.
and it's just like so much of the movie that happens, and then the very end, it's like, oh, they kiss, oh, they kissed, oh wow. So
Yeah.
that's why I just think a little kid, a 10-year-old, a 13-year-old, they probably be
Yeah.
geeking at this and be like, hey, that wasn't
Yeah.
that wasn't too bad, pretty
Nah,
good.
they would be
Blue
geeking.
Beetle
They would be geeking when they was first at the crib
on
when
the
they first got to
crib,
the crib.
yeah.
Yeah, and then Rudy bust in the door, and he was about to
It's some
kiss.
yeah,
He
it's
had to
some
wait to get up.
13.
He had to be the last one to get up, bro. I was geeked. I was like, ain't no way. He was like, her mom died. I was like, yo,
Yeah,
relax,
her mom died out.
relax. Oh man. Oh man. And I'm sure there's stuff that like was super funny that I just didn't get because of like just cultural differences as far as like the what you call thing about the TV shows and stuff like that. Like
Mhm.
the family, just everybody knew. But I did enjoy watching that. You know what I'm saying? Just because it just reminded me of my family and stuff like that. And it's just the inside jokes and things like that. It's good, man. It's good. It's good. I don't think it's Netflix bad, but like
It
yeah,
feels like it could have been on Netflix. I ain't not gonna lie. Like if this thing dropped on Netflix,
like if it dropped on
I
Netflix, it'd be worse.
I just feel like people would have been like,
Like them
"Yeah,
graphics
okay,
was too
that's Blue
good
Beetle." Yeah, the graphics are too good, but
to be
overall,
Netflix,
like
bro.
I feel like if it dropped on Netflix, people would understand. Like, oh, okay. It
Uh,
just doesn't have the feeling of like mega epic superhero movies that we're used to by now.
well, y'all let us know in the comments section. Is it Netflix worthy or is it HBO Max worthy or Max worthy?
Yeah, that's good.
You
That's
know,
good.
let us know. Let us know. But Chris, man, so what you geeked about, bro? What you geeked about this week?
This week, oh my gosh. Ah. I don't wanna say it because I think you're gonna say it.
What?
Mm, Ahsoka drops tomorrow, 2 episodes.
Oh, it does? Oh, that's lit. I didn't even
Yeah.
know that.
Oh, okay. Ahsoka
Yeah.
drops tomorrow, 2 episodes. Pretty hyped. I think it is
I
tomorrow.
thought it was the 28th.
Bro, it better not be. It better be
I,
tomorrow.
I thought it was like the end of the month, but nah, because
Bro,
it wouldn't drop on a Tuesday. It'll drop on a Wednesday. Star Wars drops on Wednesdays.
the 22nd. Yeah, so tomorrow or today technically. But 2 episodes.
Yeah. I'll leave it.
Yeah, 9 o'clock though. Jeez.
Ooh.
So I'm pretty hyped for that. I'm
Yeah.
hoping it's really good. I'm hoping Star Wars saves Disney because Disney is hurting bad. Killing themselves with everything Marvel, everything Disney. So Star Wars is here to save the day.
Pixar is not saving them. I still ain't see Elemental.
I've heard good things about Elemental.
For real? That joint
Like,
didn't do that good, apparently, though.
Yeah, it didn't do good, but then later on, it started picking up steam. Like, everyone started bringing their kids.
Okay.
But it's, like, a lot of people like it.
Okay.
But
I still want to watch it, though. But
yeah, release that, Disney. But yeah, I'm cool with Ahsoka for now. What you geeked about, G? Is there something big this week?
So I got my first interview dropping. Dropping that on the channel. Super excited about that. That's like probably like a year in the works, but just a lot of stuff is going on, and it's like I'm kind of like stacking content to where it's like when it drops, everything's gonna pick back up to where it's used to been going. Because ever since I kind of got back from DreamCon, it's been like a lot of changes and a lot of new opportunities and stuff like that.
Meetings.
It's a lot. It's a lot going on, but it's good things. And then as far as like what I'm excited to watch, bro, is really just One Piece, honestly. I mean, I'm excited to watch Ahsoka, but like they keep dropping all these trailers, bro, and I'm not watching them, but
I'm not watching them either.
Like, I just need the show, because it's like the people that they promise, bro. People that they promise gotta go crazy. Because I love Star Wars Rebels, bro. I love that genre with a passion. It's not as good as Clone Wars, but it's good. It's good. And Ahsoka is like top 2 character for me. So I have a lot of expectations when it comes to that, but not in the sense of like the story, because I just don't know what the story is going to be. But it's just something I'm excited. So the fact that it drops tomorrow is exciting. And then One Piece, I'm in the training arc thing, so like the time skip just happened, bro. So I'm excited to see what they talking about, bro. Cause that boy Oda good. That boy Oda good, man. But yeah, I realized I have like 3 more seasons of New Girl to watch. I thought I was about to be over, but this is not. Let's keep on going.
Oh man, yeah, a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and then that's really it, man. Yeah, so we're probably gonna talk about Ahsoka next week. So y'all stay tuned for that. I don't know what the next.
We got
movie
some scary
is.
movies coming out soon, so me and G gonna be on them scary movies ASAP.
Nah, it's getting tricky now. The first ones is like cupcakes compared to what they about to drop, but
yeah, they're about to drop some serious ones. So
yeah, Chris can wow y'all with that in his Why I'm Geek segments. I'm not going to see those. I'm not going to see those.
Quick 2-minute Stamper Nas.
Yeah, real quick. But hey, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in once again. If y'all enjoy the podcast, leave a like, hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, whatever you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Leave a comment, rate the podcast 5 stars. 5 stars. We need those joints. And yeah, man, we'll see y'all next week. Stay geeked. Peace.
Later, y'all.